It's not red. Hmm? Oh, okay. Let me go back. Let me go back in. There we go. Okay. Part two. We back. Love Jones. I was about to say something. Love Jones. Oh, I was saying that this was it was a sexy movie. Like the lighting, the vibes, the poetry. That was always one of my favorite things about the movie. Um, this was definitely one of those movies I felt like was safeguarded from me having any other perspectives. But shout out to social media that have you thinking about shit you don't normally think about. I guess I did not notice the amount of red flags in the relationship between Nina and why am I missing this? I'm not doing good with names, and this is not like me. Nia and Darius. Okay, so Nia definitely had her issues. They pretty much had a no strings attached situation in the beginning. Um, she had broke up with her then boyfriend, moved out. Boyfriend fine as hell. Where do I know him from? Boyfriend was Darnell on Girlfriends, Maya's husband.
Oh, Khalil Kane.
That's his name. You
Yeah.
good with names. Yes, him. Fine as hell. Speaking of sidetrack,
Oh,
the men.
he was in Juice too.
Yes, he was. Yes. Oh, look, we connected the movies. We talked
Mhm.
about poetic justice. Now we connected. Thank you.
Shout out to Lisa Nicole Carson. Though.
The men in the 90s, fine as hell. Okay. That is one common thing that I'll say about the men of the 90s. Fine. So
you hit my spot.
It was a few it was kind of a few things in here. I think, like I said, they both definitely had red flags. I think that she might have entered into the situation with him very quickly. Speaking of Lisa Nicole Carson, I feel like she was not always the friend that Nina needed. I don't think she always told Nina what she needed to hear. Because the part where Nina's ex came back and was like, "Hey, I got this flight ticket. I'm going to New York. Come with me." She was like, "Okay, I'll think about it. Whatever." She wanted to tell Darius about it, and the friend was like, I mean, just go. You don't really got to." Then the friend was like, "All right, tell him, and then respond based on how he react to it." Because the thing was, Nina and Darius were not in a relationship. They were just fucking around. There was nothing serious. Um, there were definitely feelings there, but I think it was feelings that I guess they conveyed to each other, but I can't say that they necessarily took them as serious as they should have. So of course, they did up, and then she decided to tell him, and he like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." It wasn't cool. Your damn feelings was hurt, but you ain't say that they was hurt. So somewhere down the line, and again, don't remember exact details, she ended up with his friend, played by Bill Bellamy. Funny thing about Bill Bellamy is I feel like he played the same character in a lot of movies, because the way he acted in Love Jones is the same way his ass was acting in How to Be a Player. It was the same damn character. Now, here's the thing with this. Him and Darius were friends, and then him and Nina kind of had their little small thing going on. Now, you can look at this two different ways. Nina and Darius were not in a relationship. They were just messing around with each other. Boom. In walks the friend, whatever his name is. I don't like the way the friend, quote unquote, handled the situation, because it was like the friend immediately had beef. Like, they hanging out like normal, and Bill basically sat down like, "Oh, what's good, nigga? Like, what? You messing around with Nina? Like, why all of y'all?" And I could be missing, again, it's been a while. I don't recall them ever really getting into it in any type of way for him to act like that. It seemed like he was just acting like that because he was messing with Nina. And so he ended up bringing Nina to the party of the man at the bottom that's to the left of Bill. His wife left him. He had some get together with another I don't remember what the get together was. I think
Was that Isaiah Washington?
is that him? I think
Yeah.
that is Isaiah Washington. Yes, it was some type of get together that they went to, and I think he bought a woman.
We talking about the bald head dude or the dude with the dread?
No, to do with the dreads.
Yeah,
His wife left him. It was something about a get together, and he ended up bringing some other chick, and the friends weren't really feeling that. But then in walks Bill with Nina, and then of course the shit hit the fan, and then Bill's character ended up turning on her. It was just a big. It was really just a red flag. It's like, okay, you and Darius went serious. You didn't get with his friend.
I
Okay,
do not remember this movie at all. Everything you're saying is like
you getting with his friend, to each his own, whatever. But it's like that was just kind of like some get back that didn't necessarily need to happen. If it was a situation where everything was kind of ended off in a positive way, he didn't really have feelings for you, you didn't have feelings for him, you decided to move on, the friend was going to do better by you, if that's what you feeling like doing, okay. But the way that this whole situation was handled, it was just messy, and it really shouldn't have been like that. And I think that's something that I just did not notice watching it as many times as I have over my life, because I was blinded by, oh my God, poetry night, oh my God, love, oh my God, they be doing up. I was blinded. So
the soundtrack is fire.
Okay, so I was trying to think about songs that came off the soundtrack. The only one I remember is Sweetest Thing and Hopeless. Wait, Hopeless. What else? This was a good soundtrack.
Maxwell.
Something. Okay, yes.
All right, yeah.
Sweetest Thing, yes.
Hopeless.
Because I was trying to think of songs from each one of these movies.
I'm hopeless.
Like a penny with a hole in it.
I think this is kind of like the blossoming of neo soul.
And this entire soundtrack was a vibe for this movie. The only song that I remember, kind of backtracking a little bit, from Soul Food soundtrack, I don't know why I remember, it's just Boys to Men. I don't remember any other. Yeah, Mama. I don't remember any other songs from. Let me look.
Tony had a track on there.
What soundtrack?
Soul Food. I'm about to look it up.
That. I don't remember that soundtrack.
Let me see. Oh, you know what? It's not even. They don't have it on. Dang, they don't have it on YouTube.
The soundtrack?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
They don't. They have different playlists, but I don't know.
Oh, they got Total. What About Us?
Yes.
We're Not Making
Love. Oh, they did have. Oh, how did I forget that? Drew Hill, my favorite.
Oh, In Due Time was the shit. That's that, and then released that.
And you know what the unique thing is about Soul Food too? You know what you just said, I Care About You? That was the band that her husband was playing. He was playing piano for them. Was when after 7?
Oh, boys and girls with Tony.
Boys and girls will all be watching when I. Okay, that was a good soundtrack.
That was
a Babyface soundtrack.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I miss movies coming with soundtracks, because it was really good music. Like, I hate that they got away from that.
In Due Time is like one of my favorite songs ever.
I don't know why I don't remember that. Who made that? Who did that? I don't know it if I hear it.
In Due Time.
But yes, this movie definitely had a great Milestone. Yes, it was. That was the name of it. And because his brothers. Because I feel like they all look alike. I
do not remember them having a group.
After 7. They had a group in real life, I thought.
After 7 was the real group, but these people together.
Oh, you talking about in the movie? Yeah.
No, they had the deal, and then After 7, and then Milestone.
Yeah.
I never heard of. That's funny.
Okay, so the next movie that I am going to do, let's see where we are. Whew, okay. Let's go. The next movie is Best Man. Whew. All right, we about to take a journey. While we on that, let me look up their soundtrack, because I definitely don't remember nothing from this one either. Did they have one? Let me see. Best Man soundtrack. Let's see what was on here. But it's What Can I Do? Do I remember that? No. Maxwell. Beautiful Girl. No. Yes, I was right. The Best Man I Can Be. That was Genuine, RL, Tyrese, and Case. That's the only song I remember from here. What can a brother do for me?
Turn your lights down low. Lauren Hill. That was.
Yes, that one was good one. Yeah. Okay, so
40 Thieves.
best man. Let's get into this. Okay. So best man, it's a lot of different chapters from this. You got the best man movies, and then you also have most recently the best man series, which I thought was okay. Um, okay. Where do I start? Because it's just so heavy. Okay. let's start let's start with Mia and Lance. So we know that the big thing in this movie was that Harper, who's played by Tay Diggs. And again, let's just talk about the men of the 90s because Morris Chestnut, he's still fine. He in his 50s. He still look good. But anyway, so Harper wrote a book. And in the book, Harper was talking a whole bunch of stuff that he shouldn't have been saying. Let's dive into it. So Mia and Lance were in a relationship, eventually got married. They were friends from, was it college or was it before? Not exactly sure, but they were friends. And when I say they, I mean Harper, Lance, and Mia. Now, Lance was a football player, and he was a cheater. And he really didn't do right by Mia as much as he should have. He was a player. Somewhere down the line, Mia decided that she wanted to get her lick back, and lo and behold, she chose her friend and his friend Harper to do so. Now, this had went a very long time being a secret that no one talked about, no one really knew about, until Harper decided that it was a good idea to write about it in a book. And he did it so well and so detailed that when people read it, they realized that he was talking about Mia. Now, Mia described her her sexual encounter with Harper. I think she described it as a forehead kiss. Now listen, somebody kiss you on the forehead. That's something that's seen as very deep and very intimate. So to describe a side situation like that is is crazy. Like Harper had Mia was biting the sheets. Okay. Mia and Harper had a good ass time. Okay. Talk about adding a insult to injury. Ooh, yeah. But Lance was so cocky about it. And at that point, all of the friends around them had already picked up on what was going on, and Lance was the only one that didn't know. Now, Lance was so cocky, and I don't remember the exact wording, but I know Quentin was not Quentin. What was Terrence Howard's character? Wasn't he Quentin? Or was that Quentin? Yeah. I think he had asked him, like, man, how you know me ain't never stepped out, or how you know she'll never cheat on you? Play next slide. This nigga said, okay, so he said, how do you know she's never slept with anybody else? This nigga said, cause the pussy curves to my dick, nigga. Now, few things here. That's not how anatomy works, first of all. All right. If you hitting something, I need you to know the anatomy and how vaginas work, first of all. Second of all, and I hate that he looks so just, it's the chocolate and the lips and this just taking me back to what I used to remember from the movie. Cause yeah. Focus. What was I saying? See, it made me forget what I was saying. Oh, by this time, you see how Terrence Howard looks. He already knew what had went down between Mia and Harper.
He was a shit starter.
He knew it already. This nigga's so cocky. And what I should have did is I should have added the other picture of them on the altar at the wedding. Harper had a black eye and Lance was crying. Now, she thought he was crying because, oh my God, you look so beautiful. I love you. No, he was crying because he was having flashbacks in his mind of her and Harper having sex, her biting sheets and the whole nine. And he was up there crying. And not saying Mia and Harper, of course, like none of this is right. That's not what you're supposed to do. But I'm also like, you was cheating on her and you was doing a whole bunch of shit that you were not supposed to be doing. And, Mia was seen as like the good girl and, oh, I could do whatever I want to and I'm going to come back and it's going to be all cool. Never in a million years would he had imagined, number one, that she was going to cheat back and get her lick back. But number two, she did that shit with your friend who was also her friend as well. So was Mia wrong? Of course she was. But then there's a petty side of me that was like, no, like get your shit off. Like he doing what he doing. You do what you do. And I acknowledge that that's not a healthy way of thinking, but hey, we're here now, and kind of just is what it is. Now, if we move on, you can take that off the screen and go back a slide and put the main graphic up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this whole friend situation was chaotic. If you focus on Harper and Robin, Robin was played by Sanaa Lathan's character. They should have never got married, ever. I feel like the trust was not where it needed to be. I feel like Harper was not in a position to be a good husband to her. And I feel like Harper had so much unfinished business, not only with the situation with Lance and Mia, but also with Jordan, who was played by Nia Long, because they kind of had their little thing as well. And, Robin was just, and I don't remember who even bought Robin into the circle. Robin was friends with Mia, or
no, she came in with him.
Okay, so she was just a girlfriend. I couldn't remember how
yes, they were all friends.
Robin became friends, yes, of course, because she was with them later on down the line.
Yeah.
And Robin really became closer with, what I just realized? I realized that's why I like that damn song Cameo from watching this movie.
Candy.
Yes. Because when she entered the picture, her and Robin were close.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were like the two girlfriends and then the wives. But yeah, I feel like they should have never got married.
I don't remember their relationship that much.
Exactly.
I knew Taye Diggs and his character and how he was kind of like, but this is how friends are. This is a real situation. This is a real circumstance. People look at him like, oh, they're dirty and they shouldn't have did it. It's so many intertwined relationships between couples and whatnot that people don't know all the dirt about until death, or never, or go to the grave with.
And I mean, they're still friends. It still works. It's just like
it all came out in the series, though.
Oh, it all came out in the series, but I mean, they were all able to like still be friends. And
I like the way it came out. In the
kind of just, I think I do too. I mean, I wouldn't say I was 100% sold on the series because of a few things, but I mean, I think that I feel like it did what they intended for it to do. Mm-hmm. And one thing I think with Lance, I definitely think, of course, he felt a lot of guilt because of these early days that I'm referring to now, and how he wasn't always the best partner for his wife. And you don't, of course, think that when you marry somebody, you want to be them to be around forever. And so to have her life end in the way that it did and her not be there anymore, you can tell that he carried a lot of the guilt of that. I mean, rightfully so. I don't like the way the situation. Harper, I think I came to the realization of just how much of a problem he was. Like in every single installment, even in the series, I think the series was finally the point where he was kind of getting it together, finally. And that's the part where it was just like, man, just get your shit together. Like, why does it take so much? And who would have thought Quentin would have been the one like finally getting his shit together? And he was the shit starter.
Well, he was, he was the shit starter, but he was literally the only transparent character.
He was who he was. Like what exactly you see is what you get.
Yeah.
What you saw is exactly what you got.
And Harper, which it came out to be, was
he struggled so much.
Very, very selfish.
He definitely was. And that's why I said I feel like he should have never got married to Robin. She really just deserved so much like better than that experience. And then you kind of throw Jordan in there and it was just like, girl, what is going on with you? Like even you all over the place. It was really chaotic, but again, definitely one of those timeless movies. One of my favorite memories from this movie is I think it was The Best Man holiday when they did the guys dressed up and did New Edition. That was such a dope scene. Like that was one of my favorite scenes.
I don't think I saw.
You didn't see the holiday?
I didn't see
that was the one when they start finding out that Mia was sick.
Yeah,
she died in that one.
She died in that one.
Yeah. You never saw that one?
Yeah, I don't think I could. I don't
really.
I don't think I wanted to watch that.
Oh, you didn't want to?
No.
I mean, yeah, it was heavy. That was definitely.
I heard so many people talking about it and how emotional it was.
So you didn't want to watch that one, but you were cool watching the series. I guess because it had already happened. And you didn't have to actually see it.
And I empathized with
Lance
Lance.
in the series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I empathize with Tay Diggs' character. I forget his name. I forgot fast.
You said you sympathize with him in what aspect?
When he was like when she left, when they broke up, and
Oh,
he
when
was
Robin left.
when he left, and he was just like, bro, I mean, I understood what he was going through, although it was his fault.
Yeah.
A lot of it was his fault, and he took it there. But I understood the whole like what am I going to do kind of thing. But
Yeah.
also I understood his selfishness.
So from a man's perspective, and I know we just said we don't really remember much about Robin and Harper's relationship. Do you, like, knowing his character in enough installments, what do you think that he could have done better when it came to, like, how he handled Robin and, like, their relationship and, like, their marriage? Like you said, he was selfish. Like, in what ways do you think that he was selfish?
He was very career driven.
Mm-hmm.
The desire to be a great author, and I know the deadlines and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
goes with that, and also recognizing that, and I saw some parallels, recognizing that giving technically gifts to your wife is not what is going to make your marriage stronger. Because remember, he bought the bigger house.
Yeah, and she didn't even like it.
She didn't like it, but
and he also didn't take her career seriously. Like, she had her own dreams and passions, and he kind of just pushed it to the side like it didn't, like it didn't matter. So I was glad when she finally, like,
I kind of wanted her to cheat with the dude, with
the chef. What was it? The chef guy?
Or he's a farmer or something. He was like a
organic. Yes, organic he was the farmer when they were on the beach.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I did too.
Yeah, I wanted her to, like,
Like, I'm glad somebody said that out loud. Hey.
I want her to be happy.
I was like, do it, please.
I love Sanaa in movies and in real life. So,
I mean, who doesn't?
I want her to be happy. You know what
I just learned about her? I was listening to The Breakfast Club last week, and they had Rhapsody on. And I did not realize how involved Sanaa Lathan was in music. So Sanaa Lathan is the reason why Rhapsody's album is out. Rhapsody was not, she was holding back on her album. She wasn't confident about it. She said she felt like it needed a little more, like, oomph. And so Sanaa was like, all right, like, let me come to the studio. We're going to listen to it. So she brought her in. Sanaa listened to it, and she was like, put your album out. You're overthinking it. It's fine.
Because it was
and Rhapsody ended up putting it out.
It was a super personal album.
That's what she said. She said she didn't want to. She said she felt like, I think she didn't want to bore people, or she didn't want to put out anything that was, like, mediocre. And so Sanaa was the one that actually pushed her to put it out. She said Sanaa's good with, like, beats and just having, like, that musical ear. And I was like, that's so cool. It kind of reminded me of her in was it Brown Sugar?
Brown Sugar.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is real. So yeah, that's a fun fact that I heard last week. I was like, okay, Sanaa,
that's funny, because I heard a whole nother interview, and she didn't even mention Sanaa. She mentioned Erykah Badu, but didn't mention
Sanaa. They mention, I think she might, I don't even know how they flowed into the conversation. I don't remember how Sanaa's name came up. I think they talked about, like, oh, you have a cool friendship with Sanaa, like, you all are really close. How did that come about? And then she kind of explained it and was just like, shout out to her, because she's the reason why my album is out.
That's dope, because she held on to it for like 3 years.
And Sanaa was like, girl, please put it out. So yeah, I thought that was dope. So that's Best Man. We can go on forever with Best Man, but just one of those movies. A good movie, but so many.
It's very emotional.
Very. So y'all remember how I said I was on sprinkling movies that people called their favorites that I don't really care about? Jason's Lyric. I think my issue with this movie is so layered, and it's so deep and heavy. I feel like when I watched it initially, it was just too much for me to process at that time. It was too much going on, and I felt like I was overstimulated. If I can find this movie somewhere, I will dedicate myself to giving it another try, because I've evolved. I have a different perspective on things, and I might be able to keep up with it a lot easier at this place in my life. But I always remember it being one of those movies that I couldn't sit through and finish, because I just couldn't keep up with it. Now, I do remember how he loved her and how he had no issue showing her. They was doing up in the field with the like. I remember that. I remember Tretch being in here. I remember that they were in Houston. So there's a lot of aspects to the movie that I remember, but it just was never a favorite for me. So I maybe I need to give it another try, and I will report back to see if my thought process on this has changed. I don't think that it will, but definitely not a fave of mine.
No.
There's definitely it's given one and done. Like I don't know if you are listening or watching and you're like, oh, this is my favorite movie. I just watch it over and over. Let me know because I would want to know like what you see that I don't. Even again, like even with my love perspective, as you see, that's what I remember about it. I remember that he loved her and he was real vocal about it. He had no problem showing it.
I don't remember what the damn movie's about, actually.
Me either. Like, because I remember, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember somebody got killed because somebody got shot on the porch and it was blood and stuff. I don't remember who it was.
That was
Tretch was in the movie, but I don't remember what role Tretch played in the movie.
I know
because he was like was he a thug? I don't.
He was a thug.
Let me see.
I
don't.
I remember she died.
She died? Wait, was she the one on the porch then? Let me see.
Did she get shot?
somebody got shot. This movie had a soundtrack?
Yeah.
Who was in this? This is a lot of hip hop. Brian McKnight. Boo.
Father Forrest Whitaker got killed.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, he was trying to shoot his brother.
No, he was attacking his mom.
That's what it. Okay, no, so Tretch was I think Tretch was her brother, right? Let me see. Bokeem Woodbine, because he was a little. Lisa Nicole Carson was in this movie too. Tretch, Eddie Griffin. I mean, star-studded. I just don't remember what none of these people did. I don't remember any of this.
He shot. She didn't die. He died.
Who is he? The main Jason
brother.
Alexander?
No, the brother.
Who was the brother?
The
Bokeem?
Yes, that was the brother. He was in prison. Remember, he came in and ate the cake with his hands.
That was his brother, right? Okay. So that was his brother. But then who was Tretch? Was Tretch her ex or something?
I think he was. I think
that was her older brother. And then Forrest Whitaker, that was Mad Dog. That was his name. That was the dad. Okay.
Yeah, see, we gotta unravel the movie to watch.
So that's why I said, like, I'm committed to going back and watching it. Peppa was in the movie too. I didn't know she was in this movie. What was she? Was she his girlfriend or something?
Her and Tretch.
Yeah.
That would make sense. That would make sense. Probably.
So Joshua accidentally shoots Lyric in the shoulder during an argument between the brothers. Jason and Joshua. Jason is horrified and tends to Lyric, but Joshua feels abandoned and then he shoots himself.
Oh, okay.
Then Jason carries Lyric to the ambulance. I guess she survives.
That's what it was. Okay, and I feel like that's probably the most iconic scene, and that's why everybody vividly remembers that one.
I don't remember.
Oh, and that one in the love scene when they was in the
because we thought they was fucking. For real,
they was in
the field.
In the forest, yeah. I don't know how they faked that. Yeah. But yeah, not a fan. But I told y'all, if I can find it on Tubi or if y'all know where I can find it, let me know, and I will try to make it through.
I don't think that's worth it.
I'll try.
Worth the watching.
I have comments, and I can't see the comments on the screen, but I'm looking at it on my phone. Yes, Maxwell's song was fire. He said, being honest about his feelings about Jordan and dealing with lack of communication and her wants. Yes, he definitely did not communicate with Robin well at all. Come over, we can watch it. Wait, so I'm seeing this comment late. Are you saying come over, we can watch Jason's Lyric, or come over, we can watch Best Man?
I don't see any.
Because if it's on my page, I don't know why they're not coming over. If you saying come over, we can watch Jason's Lyric. Yes, I don't at all remember anything about that movie. Jason's Lyric. Okay, how y'all talking about it but don't remember? Because I'm talking about how I don't like the movie, and this is the reason why. Because I don't remember nothing and it was boring.
Who was that?
Huh?
Who said that?
That's my friend in the comments.
Oh, I thought it was Juan.
My former roommate who misses me. She said, "Come home so we can watch it." We'll have to do that because yeah. All right, so we are winding down. The next movie that I had, I only had one more movie. Oh Lord. Okay, Love and Basketball.
I remember this one.
Love and Basketball. And first of all, speaking of that friend, shout out to Brittany because she's the one that kind of got my wheels turning when it comes to like the idea of this show. Love and Basketball started all of this. I feel like as far as people looking at movies from a different perspective, Love and Basketball, there has have been synopsis all over social media heavy for a minute now. As far as looking at this movie differently, I avoided it because Love and Basketball is really like, this is my jam. I love this movie so much. I feel like the one part I remember is Maxwell, wasn't it? Oh, when they was I remember that part for sure. Right. And I was like, oh my God, this is so romantic. Just to realize I avoided it for so long because I just didn't want to think this about this movie. But damn, Quincy really wasn't shit. Oh my God. Like, how did that get missed? Let's talk about that. First of all, the breakdown, somebody brought it up and I didn't notice it before. He never really told her at any point that he loved her. I feel like the bulk of the emotion was always carried by her and never him. And I did not realize that until somebody said it. And when I'm talking about it, I'm scrolling because I'm looking for
But ain't that the bulk of most relationships?
what? As far as one person carrying the bulk of the emotion?
If we're being honest,
You got to tell me you love me at some point.
if we're being honest about people and relationships, a majority of us have been in relationships and it's just been a relationship and we just assumed some things if things aren't said because you're in a relationship.
So you saying we've been in relationships and you've assumed that the person loved you and they really didn't.
Because you're in a relationship and you're doing relationship things, you're doing all these some things are just understood. All words aren't always communicated. And
so you're saying that I love you, but I don't have to tell you that because you should know.
I said that happens. I didn't say that has to happen, or I think, and it happens more frequently than we care to admit. And some of us have been in situations like that, it's been rolling so smooth and we've been so happy and so pleased with the relationship because it's a relationship that we want to be in.
That you ignore those like
the red flag. Yeah, some of the things that you overlook are just kind of just assumed because, well, he does this and she does that, and that's what we're doing. Not saying it's right, not saying that it that we all have done it, but
I mean, it makes sense.
It's been experienced to a point where like, so yeah, I think some things we notice in movies that oh, he's trash reflects some things that we also have experienced.
And they were young.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm correct, they were in high school, right?
They met when they were like
right. Like they got together when they were in like when he took her virginity, they were in high school.
Right. I was saying right at the beginning, they were like they moved in next door to each other when they were like young.
Yes, you're right. Because that's when her younger character wasn't it played by Kyla Pratt?
Yep, Kyla Pratt was her.
Yes, you're right. Because that's when she had like the glasses and yeah. So I definitely see what you're saying. But like I said, looking at it differently, I can't say that it ever really felt like he really wanted to be there. I feel like he got some, and I feel like they were kicking him for a little bit, and then things kind of just changed. Like when they went to the party and he was kind of treating her different. Yeah.
Had the girl that went next to him.
Had the girl, like he really started doing her like so dirty, and like I felt so for no reason at all. And with this being like her first experience and her being so in love, it's like I'm heartbroken. Like, why are you treating me like this? I don't understand why this is happening and what's going on. And so, they move forward in their life. He ended up playing basketball. He ended up getting with the new girl that was Tyra Banks' character. She ended up going forward in her life. And then not somehow, he was getting married, if I remember correctly. And they ended up like back in their old neck of the woods. And then she's like, play me for your heart. And then the nigga slam dunks. Why didn't I see this? The emotion, she said, play me for your heart. And the nigga said,
God, crossed her.
across her and slam dunk. Girl, what?
And threw the ball. I'm like, I'm out.
And then here's the thing, right? So you completely, oh my God, I remember the song because the song was like, you made a fool of me. Remember that? And that's at the exact point that played. Later on in life, let me tell you what this nigga did. The Tyra Banks character came to her senses and sis headed out. Then dude wanted to spin the block, right? You spin a block, that's your decision. You come back to me injured. You can't even play basketball anymore. And I'm the one that got to work and play basketball and make all the money. So you spin the block and come back to me like this. And I just take you back with open arms.
What's funny is the chick that she played with overseas. Remember, she saw her when she was
Tanya.
She was in Joanna Man playing a basketball player. It's funny.
You know what's also funny about her? Completely unrelated. Well, maybe kind of, sort of. So, you know, there was a situation that happened last week with Angel Reese and the girl, what's her name? Khadijah. The girl that had, she ended up getting like a technical foul.
Oh, she hit her real hard. Took her down real hard.
Everybody in the comments, and it was not funny, but everybody in the comments was like, anybody else? Is it giving like Tanya, whatever her name was? And they were like, you weren't even supposed to be here. You only here because such and such got pregnant. They was done recruiting.
Right.
So she was really at that girl neck. So everybody in the comments was like, is it giving Tanya from Love and Basketball? And it was just like a whole thread. And I was like, I hate black people.
I didn't even put it that way.
Yes, funny. They really brought that up. And I was like, oh my God, that's like the same exact thing, which is crazy. But yeah, I was a little devastated to have to look at this from a different lens and realize like this was not love. She deserved better than Quincy. Was it McCall? Quincy McCall. Mm-hmm. I feel like his and you know what? Quincy was his daddy's son because his daddy wasn't shit either.
I gotta go to a meeting. Niggas going to meetings at midnight.
Mama just like, okay, while she's sitting there with her bang, smoking her cigarette. When did she smoke a cigarette?
I can't remember.
With her bang, like he was definitely his daddy's son, and Monica didn't. She didn't deserve that. If I ever see this movie again, I want to try to keep the perspective that I had originally because I don't want to be angry, but it's just like these realizations and yes. So I think I didn't have nothing else. I think that was the last of my other movie. So if you had any movies that you watched over time, you know, I think I remember you saying, I was gonna ask you, your favorite movie is Godfather, right?
Yes. And
I think that I remember you saying that you've kind of been binging a little recently, indulging in your Facebook groups. You said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of see things differently a little bit, not in a bad way, but you starting to like notice things differently that you might not have noticed before.
Every single time. I mean, I know the movie backwards and forwards, but now I'm picking up on a lot of other nuances that were overlooked when other people pointed out. I was going to say, if you are able to watch these movies again, what people should do, I'm not saying that, like, if you want to really enjoy them, look at them only from one of the characters, only pay attention to one character all the way through and see it from their perspective. And if you want to watch it again, watch it from the other person's character. And that way you're not putting together how they work together. You're just looking at it from one lens. It's a whole different perspective.
Oh, that's why you asked about with Soul Food. With the kids perspective,
right? His perspective is one perspective, but I think if you heard it from Terry's perspective, is it Terry?
Yeah.
If you heard it from her perspective, what would that story?
And I feel like that's what people are doing now. It's like noticing it from her perspective as opposed to everybody else's, and it's like, damn, you was really in a messed up situation.
Who was the cousin? Look at her from her perspective.
Well, we don't care about her.
And she doesn't have enough character to actually do it, but somehow she came in right in, and people were kind of looking side-eyeing, and where she come from, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was she's got a story. I wonder what her story is.
That's a unique way to think about it.
Because she came in and she was actually treated bad. She had a past, but
Yeah, the only
It
person that treated her good, that was happy to see her, was a Big Mama.
was my, yeah.
But I think that's because they said in a movie, like every time she comes, she leaves. She was stealing.
Hmm.
She always needs something. So I mean, that's why they was looking at her like that, because they're like, oh, what you doing here? What you want? And sure enough, this
Hmm.
time you done slept with her damn husband.
But you know how you do backstories on people, all of a sudden you
But at the
find out a little
end,
bit.
but you know what? At the end, I just thought about. I mean, they welcomed her at
They
the end. I
welcome her
feel
back.
like.
Yeah, they welcome her back and him. Yeah. Anyway, you know
So
that's how
yeah.
we do.
So we are gonna wrap up. I have my WTF segment. Shout out to Cardi. She just did that remix with Meg and Glorilla, and her verse was actually nice. Speaking of, I went to the Megan concert. Was that last Sunday, or no? It was Sunday before last. Oh my god! Shout out to Meg and Glorilla. That concert was. I am so happy that I went. I had a blast, and it was a really good show. Like, for that to be Meg's first headliner, she did amazing. And Glow is so little and cute. Like, her set was fire. Definitely had an amazing time. Um, so WTF, I'm not usually, I bring up something that's kind of like a little bit more negative, but I don't want to end like that because I feel like we had a good show today. So it's really a WTF because it's like, damn, I'm just coming to this realization. So, I'm in this season where I'm like growing and learning and reflecting and doing everything that I can to be the best person that I am able to be. And one thing that I know about myself that, I mean, I'm not 100% proud of is that I have accepted bare minimum in way more situations than I should have. And I'm not just talking about like romantic situations, but platonic situations as well. I would just accept what people were willing to give me, even though it wasn't what I deserved or it wasn't what I asked for. And that was just the end all be all for me. Um, but recently, I have been able to experience like new situations that have made me realize like you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong people. And here's why I say that. It's kind of how I put it in my mind. So I call it a palate cleanser. As you know, if you go like wine tasting or like food tasting, usually you have a palate cleanser in between tasting, whether it's water or some type of fruit or whatever. You cleanse your palate in between so that you can go into the next flavor with a fresh palate so that you can get the full experience. And I believe that to be true for people. Now, I believe people come into your life for reasons, seasons, and purposes. When the purpose is fulfilled, when the season is over, when the reason is determined, it's okay to let people go, and it doesn't have to be anything negative. It don't have to be no beef. It's just your assignment here is fulfilled, and I'm letting you go to make room for new things. Um, and sometimes you have people that enter your life and they play the role of a palate cleanser, and they kind of, remove any bad taste you got in your mouth through your experience with them. And it allows you to be able to take that on into your life. Now, when it comes to a palate cleanser, especially from a romantic perspective, they're not always meant to be in your life forever. It might just be for that moment. One thing that I've definitely have learned and grasped is you really have to experience people in that moment. And when the moment is done, let it go, let it be, and you move on to the next thing, and that's fine. Um, but I think it's been interesting for me to experience having things occur that I didn't have to ask for, that I knew that I've asked for before, and it was a thing. Um, and I would think like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I don't deserve to receive these things, so I'm gonna just take what they giving me. And it's like, well, no, like, again, you're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong people. And I think for me, it kind of felt embarrassing because it's like you get excited about these small things that you shouldn't even be excited about because they should be customary. They should go without saying. Like, you shouldn't be excited about, somebody telling you good morning, or, somebody, checking on you throughout the day, or somebody being like, oh my God, like the text thread fell off. I fell asleep. I'm so sorry for not responding. Like, what's going on? Like, those things should just go without saying. But when that's something that you're not used to receiving, or if that's something that you've asked for in the past that you didn't get, and then you get it without asking for it, it's a different kind of feeling. Like even time is something that's super major for me. Quality time is my love language. So I always like, okay, spend time with me. Like that's what I want. And if it's something that's like difficult, then okay, I'm gonna just take what you give me. Like that's not what I want. That's not what I deserve, but I'm gonna just take it because you're giving it to me. And it's not the right way to like maneuver through things. So I've definitely been grateful that I've been able to experience situations that kind of cleanse my palate, and it allows me to be able to move forward and know that I was never asking for too much. I just wasn't asking the right individuals. And now I know that moving through my journey, I rather hang on to that perspective than have a perspective that I wasn't good enough to receive the things that I was asking for. So I'll leave you with that nugget. You're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong people. Start asking the right people, and you'll get what you need without even having to ask. So with that being said, Conversations with Coco will be on a hiatus. I don't know for how long, but I am going on vacation. I should be back before end of June. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, check in on my old episodes, catch up, and that's all I got. Until next time, I'm gonna call y'all back. Have a good night.